Good morning, everybody. I'm Michael-Bedenbaugh from the beautiful town of Prosperity, South Carolina, and I appreciate Catherine asking me to come and be part of this amazing ceremony and remembrance. Today we gather to honor the end of the Second World War, a war that reshaped not only our nation, but the world, and defined the generation that has a problem with phones that they don't cut off. Bear with me. There we go. The men and women who answered that call were not soldiers by trade. They were sons of farmers and sharecroppers, clerks in small stores, young men and women working in mills and classrooms, ordinary Americans living quiet lives until history came knocking with the sounds of bombs at Pearl Harbor. When they laid down their tools, their books, their plows, and picked up the tools of war. They trained in weeks to do what other armies have spent lifetimes preparing for. They crossed oceans they had never seen. They fought across Europe and in the Pacific, from the beaches named Omaha to the sands of Iwo Jima. And many never returned. But those who did come home did something remarkable. They did not have to remain warriors, but they became builders. They raised families, and some opened businesses, strengthened communities, and they created the greatest economy the world had ever seen. And many others, having seen tyranny firsthand and fighting to defeat it, was inspired by promises not kept here, and they became warriors here at home, determined to widen freedom here, to extend liberty to their neighbors, to demand justice in their communities, and to live out the full promise that America was to give. Their example reminds us of something vital. America's strength does not come from a permanent war footing. It comes from a free people, willing to rise when duty calls. That is a lesson we must carry with us today, for we live in a time when war can feel endless, when conflict has no beginning or end, but the generation we honor today teaches us that the goal of war is not war itself. The goal is peace, a goal that has its own fight to maintain. And so we must remember this grand experiment of ours, this republic of free citizens, is never finished, and it is tested in every age. It demands accountability from those in power, no matter who is in power, and responsibility from us all. It now calls us to resist complacency, to renew our commitment, and to live as a nation of aspiration, free to pursue the happiness promised in our founding documents. The men and women of World War II bore witness to that truth with their blood, their sacrifice, and their lives. On this day of remembrance, may we honor them not only with words, but with our determination to keep faith with their legacy. For America is strongest, or shall I say, the greatest, when its citizens, ordinary people, become extraordinary when called and rise together in defense of liberty for all. And as long as we remain faithful to that charge, the promise of this republic and its revival will never end. God bless.